If they feel like they are, a cheater or they are a liar, they may feel like they can't ever live up to your expectations, which really means they feel like they can't be loved. And if they don't feel like they are being loved by you, then what's the point in doing anything right again?
Well, it comes back to our philosophy. These are God's kids, and he made them a certain way, and he didn't make any mistakes. But we can make them feel like that if we're not careful.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
All right, welcome back, guys. We're super excited. We're going to wrap it up today with Chrissy here in the studio. And we've just been giving some good little tips, both for parents and for kids, on, situations that happen at home. And the last thing we ended with was not to call your child certain names where they may believe it. Right, Chris?
Right, because pretty much everything you say to them, if it's a big thing, they're going to remember.
So it can go either way, good or bad, right?
Right, because I remember my parents telling me, "You're really good at that," or "You're a great runner," or whatever, and it sunk in. But also, I don't remember my parents ever doing this to me. But I remember reading in books or whatever. Don't ever tell your kids you're a stealer, or you're a liar, or you're so bad at that, or you're rebellious, or you're not a good math student, because then they think that's their identity. Kids' identity is built through their childhood, because once they get to be an adult, everything that they learned as a kid is what they're going to do as adult. Mm-hmm. So you need to build their identity, whether they're 2 or 12. You need to build their identity with the right things.
Yeah, and I think it's so powerful because, again, we didn't know this kind of stuff growing up. Like, when Greg and I finally decided it was time for us to figure out how we were going to parent our kids, we had a lot to learn. I mean, we didn't understand the power of words. We didn't know what it was like to make sure that you're sowing the right kind of information into your kids. We didn't know what it was like to properly correct them or to discipline them. Like, we started from scratch. So if you're out there right now and you're like, gosh, I never knew this stuff. We didn't either.
Right. You just start now.
It's okay. Yes.
You just start now. But what you're saying is so important. And it's, for the parents out there, for everybody listening to this, really, even if you're a kid and you're talking to your siblings or to others, it's really important to take the extra second of thought and think through how you're wording anything, because words really, really matter. It's one thing if me as a kid, I'm doing something that is rebellious and somebody corrects me for being rebellious, right? But if they start calling me a rebel from then on, calling me a rebel, like, literally sews into my identity. Mm-hmm. And now I learn as a young kid that, I guess it's just the way that I'm made. I'm a rebel. Versus, no, I'm a good kid who's honorable, but I was doing some rebellious things, which doesn't line up with how I was made.
Right.
See?
And I feel like a common one is you're a troublemaker. And if they're a troublemaker, then people might think, oh, it's funny that I make trouble or whatever, It can lead to so many things. Sewing into their identity is a big thing that you can take into the right way easily, but it can also be taken into the wrong way easily.
Mm-hmm. It could even be different examples. Like, I've heard people say, like, just people in our family, we just aren't good at math. Like, we're just bad math students, And then you, like, because you believe that, whenever it gets challenging to do something in math, you automatically just go to the default of, why would I even try? Because I know everybody in our family is just bad at math.
Well, I was just going to add, too.
Wait a minute, Chrissy's leaving.
Oh, someone's leaving this studio. All right.
Chrissy has to go do a Zoom, right?
Yep, I'll go do homeschool Zoom. Do it right this time.
Chrissy, round of applause. Nice job.
Thank you
did
very
amazing.
much.
We'll have you on again very soon.
Yay!
But to pick up where we were talking about the power of words that we place on each other. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I hear too that's funny that you said about the math thing, like, oh, we're just not good at math, or our family's not good at science, or whatever you want to plug in, whatever. We're not good readers. You could plug it in. One of the things I hear is, oh, yeah, that child's just bossy. Mm-hmm. That child's bossy. They're a bossy child.
Yeah.
And that connotation is so negative, right? Like telling people what to do and ordering people around and, that kind of stuff. I like to say all the time, we have leadership is what we have. If somebody's giving the impression that they're kind of telling people how to do certain things, I think it's super important to see it for what it is they're trying to be a leader, is what they're trying to be.
Sure.
So instead of making it a negative, let's make it a positive. Like, let's harness it. A lot of times when I'm chatting with other moms and everything, they're like, your girls are very confident. Your girls are and your son is very confident and they feel very good about themselves. They speak very clearly, or they lead so well. Have you ever come into a time where you just felt like they were too much? Mm-hmm. And I said, sure I have. Absolutely. A couple of our girls in particular are definitely leaders. Yeah, I mean, all of them are, but some of them express it in different ways. And our son too. I mean, he is one of those people that is very passionate about what he believes in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes his people skills need to be a little developed, I would say, as do all of ours, by the way. But I had this situation that I was laughing about right before we decided to talk about how important it is to not speak negative, but to speak, your actions were off track, not who you are. We were on a trip once, and this is when Drews was like young. I mean, this was every bit of 5 years ago, I would say. We were on a trip, and I don't know about you guys, but when you're on vacation, everybody stays up a little later than they normally do. Everybody's eating different food that they normally don't eat. More desserts are eaten on, I think, vacation than any other time. Like, it's just a unique time. And we were going down the road to go to look at something really neat. It was, we were touring around the city and stuff like that. The kids are in the back and Greg's driving and I'm sitting in the front, and we had just gotten out of doing a whole like exhibit where we walked through all kinds of things and saw just amazing culture. The kids get all back into the car, and some kids are starting to like doze off. I mean, they're tired, and all of a sudden Drews is in the back sleeping, and not just sleeping, he's like snoring. I mean, it's very obvious that he's sleeping, I mean, the whole little van could hear him. None of us cared. He's just getting.
But this was going on for a while, right? Where
he just didn't want to admit when he fell asleep. Yeah. That was what he went through. Some phase where
it was like a couple of months where
the kids would be like, "You just fell asleep, Drew."
Fall asleep in the car, and
he'd be like, "No, I didn't."
And he would just deny it, like flat out. I mean, back there just like sleeping, and the kids would be like, "Yeah, I was like sitting next to you. You were sleeping." No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
And so we just kept letting it go, just kind of like,
and it kept going, silly. And we're like, why is he arguing about this so much? Anyways.
And so literally we're in the back and he is snoring like bad. And so again, we don't care. Greg's driving. I'm on the passenger seat. The kids are all there. And finally, Drews is yelling at one of the kids, "No, I wasn't. I was not sleeping." And Greg raises his voice. And I can't even tell you this. It was so funny. Everyone's kind of half asleep, but Drews is getting upset because they're yelling about him sleeping. I'm kind of like zoning because I'm like, great, we're going over this whole thing how Drews doesn't sleep, but he sleeps thing. I don't know what's going on. And I hear Drews or Greg go, "Drews, yes, you were. You are lying. You were sleeping. We all heard you." And everybody,
it's like a pin drop in the car.
And the car stops. And I look over at Greg like, are you okay? Like, whoa.
And all of a sudden, I hear this little voice from the back, Drews. He goes, "Okay."
And Greg literally looks forward again and puts his earbud back in like it just didn't happen. Like we're all like, we just didn't know what to do. So we drive home, we get home. Everyone gets out, we pile out of the car. And I'm like, "Well done, babe." And you're like, "Why?" I'm like, I mean, good correction. I mean, like, you spoke to his action, not to his identity. And I just start laughing. You're like, I don't know what happened. But I just tell you this because, golly, I don't know how many times we've done it wrong up until this point. You know what I mean? Like, where we've been in the heat of a moment, and like we're like, you are a liar. You're lying. You are a liar. Like, whatever situation. We've done it so many times wrong that it was so neat to be in a heated situation, and we had been practicing it for so long that literally, you just said it right. Like, you just said, you spoke to his action, not his identity. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the key to this whole thing. And even talking about it with Chrissy and everything is words are so impactful, but parents, your words are so impactful on your kids. They can handle if they make a mistake. Mm-hmm. They can handle if they have to ask for forgiveness. But if they feel like they can never live up to your expectations again, if they feel like they are, a cheater, or they are a liar, or they are a stealer, or whatever the case may be, they may feel like they can't ever live up to your expectations, which really means they feel like they can't be loved by you. And if they don't feel like they are being loved by you, then what's the point in doing anything right again?
Well, it comes back to our philosophy. These are God's kids, and he made them a certain way, and he didn't make any mistakes. But we can make them feel like that if we're not careful, right? And a lot of times it's just through, just to say it bluntly, it's through just a level of laziness, because maybe we heard certain things or other people do it, whatever, and we're just not taking the time to make sure that this is such an important thing that we focus on, that we never speak. And you know what? It's not only that we are so committed to not speaking negative to their identity, but it's also being committed to speaking positive to their identity, like actually reinforcing what their identity is.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Like, for instance, it's not just, hey, Chrissy, it's not just saying, Chrissy, you were a cheater. Instead, it was like on the negative side, it's like, no, we don't cheat. Like, you cheated, you're not a cheater. What you are is you're actually a super honorable, honest person. That is who you are, right? And so when you're cheating on something, then you're not even acting even close to who you actually are. Right? Remember that, you remember me probably telling the story about Drews for a season. He's so competitive. I love that about him. Never want to squash that out of him ever, right? Same with the strong-willedness in all of our kids. Never want to squash it. Just want to direct it. And, when we would be playing any kind of sport, whether it's just with the siblings or even with me, if the ball's going out of bounds, it was almost always an argument for a season of, it was off of you. It was something to his advantage. And I just remember having to correct him, like, hey, listen, no, that's not accurate, right? And I would keep telling him, like, you're a high character kid. We never give up our character to win any kind of a sport, like, ever. We would never do that because we are high character people. And I'm telling you, I had to keep re-explaining it. And you might want to think that'd be one conversation because I'm such a great father that he just got it. But it was a couple of years of reminding him. And now, I will tell you, that kid right now, he probably frustrates his teammates, because if that ball goes out and if the referee called it towards the other team's favor, but Drews knew that it was off of him, he'll tell it. Like, he'll tell the truth. And I'm so proud of him for that, right? It's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like this is a big one. Like, this topic alone about speaking positive words of affirmation, words over our kids, like I've done for years. Like, we should probably hit on that. I feel like that's a deep topic, because maybe we'll get to that one even deeper.
Yeah, we could do another episode on that for sure. Yeah. But I just want to wrap this thing up then. And, we had Chrissy in here for 3 of these episodes. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's got a real gifting on her life of communication. And the thing is, she wants to develop it. She wants to develop it to be a teacher to help other people. She wants to use her ability to try to learn how to communicate better all the time in order to make an impact, and even, is open enough to let people learn from some of her own mistakes. And it takes a lot of character,
Well, and especially at 13 years old to be able to, express some of your mistakes already, but say, you know what, I actually can laugh about them today because
it's huge. Such a
I've learned
maturity
from
in
them.
that.
I've grown from them, and I'm so excited to go and teach other people how to learn from my mistakes. I mean, many of us try to hide all of our mistakes. We try to act like, oh, no,
Right.
I didn't do anything like that. I'm perfect. Really, because we feel like other people would judge us so much. And we know
if we're
our
not
own value.
if we're not perfect, will we be as loved?
But because she feels so confident in that, she's willing to discuss it and to help other people. And of course, she's just one of those people that really enjoys teaching. She really enjoys teaching. In fact, she's coming up with some great ideas for the near future on how to help more kids and teach them from a different, perspective as a young person herself, teaching young people. I'm really excited for what she has come.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be so cool. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.